If your home's been listed for a while and it hasn't sold, you're not alone. And no, it's not just bad luck. I'm Irene, your local realtor here in my community of Mission, BC, where I've been helping people navigate the markets for the last 19 years. And in this month's update, we're breaking down what's really happened in May across the Fraser Valley and, more importantly, what it means for sellers and buyers right here in Mission. We'll take a detailed look at detached homes, townhomes, apartments, what's moving, what's not, and what buyers are actually willing to pay for. If you're thinking of selling and want a plan that works, you'll find my contact info in the description below. My phone, my email, or just book a call through the link. Before we get into what's going on in Mission, let's take a look at what's driving the broader market. The Bank of Canada held its key interest rate steady at 2.75 on June 5th, and the next rate announcement is scheduled for July 30th. Buyers are still cautious, tracking inflation, weighing job stability, and taking their time before making a move. Affordability remains a major issue. Prices haven't dropped enough to open the doors for first-time buyers, and many still sitting on the sidelines. And with broader economic uncertainty, not to mention the political chaos unfolding under Trump, buyer confidence is clearly taking a hit, even here in BC. So what do the numbers actually show? Well, active listings came up to a whopping 10,626 in May. That's 34% higher than last year and 54% above the 10-year seasonal average. Sales came in at 1,183 for the month, up 13% from April, but still 22% below last year. Sales to active listing ratio sits at 11%, firmly in buyer's market territory. Listings are still moving, especially the ones that show well and are priced right, but more and more are just being ignored. So with all of that at play, what's actually slowing this market down? Well, let's talk about what's actually dragging this market down. First, of course, affordability. Prices surged during COVID and haven't dropped enough to match what most buyers can realistically afford. Even entry-level homes still feel out of reach for many. Second, borrowing power. Rates have come down a bit, but the stress test is still in place, and a lot of buyers don't qualify for what they need, creating friction. And in concerns about job security, inflation, and the overall cost of living, buyers are holding back. They're not panicking, they're just not in a hurry. And if a listing doesn't tick all the boxes, well, they walk away. Across the valley, May sales were 22% below last year and 36% below the 10-year average, and that's more than just a soft month. Here in Mission, we're feeling it too. Detached homes under $1 million are still moving, but higher priced listings, well, they're taking more effort. So what's actually happening in Mission? Let's break it down by property type. Now in Mission, we saw 51 sales for May, and that's up from 38 last month, but down from 59 last year this time. And the way it breaks down, under 700, Mission saw 10 properties sell, and between 700 and 999,000, we had 19. Between 1 million and 1.3 million, Mission saw 16 sales. And then over the 1.3 to 1.5 million, 3 sales. And then between 1.5 and 2 million, Mission saw another 3 sales. Over the 2 million mark, we had 0 sales. And it breaks down like this. Sales to listing ratio here in Mission for all property types works out to 13.67%, slightly above that buyer's market, with 7.3 months of inventory for all property types. Sales were 51, which is 12% from the actives, which reached 88%. So 373 active listings here in Mission as of May. When we take a look at the detached home prices, we saw that the benchmark price on a detached home came in at $1,019,100, and that's down by 4% from last month and down 2.8% from last year, with 42 sales in the detached category, and that is up by 61.5% from last month, However, it's only up by 7.7% from last year. Still, it is up. That's a good thing. And when we get into the active listings, we did see 284 listings. That's up 6% from last month and up 31.5% from last year. And that's where our inventory is developing. At this point, we have 6.8 months worth of inventory in the residential category. Now, when we take a look at the details of what's actually sold in the detached category, these are between 700,000 and 1 million, and these are the 19 sales. Some great homes, some of them a little bit older, some of them a little bit more modest. Some great deals here, neighborhoods, run neighborhoods, all very well presented. Some great deals here. And then the next category, we're going up above 1 million, up to 1.3 million. We have 16 sales here, some better quality homes, a little bit newer, some of them under 20 years old, some of them with some property, fuller sized yards, a few more renovations, a little bit more deluxe when we're coming up this side. And then we're going to take a look here at the above 1.3 million. You see the 3 sales, and we're getting into one is a small acreage. We've got some larger homes in this category around the 20-year range. And above 1.5 million, I have 3 properties that sold, some very deluxe, and above 1.5 million, 3 properties sold. You can see here a small acreage on McCamey, Wade Terrace, also a small acreage. And then you've got a larger property, not only lot size, but house size here at that price range. So a lot of value for your money in Mission under the $1.5 million mark. Now let's take a look at the townhome market, which paints a very different story. So the benchmark price came in at $676,100, and that is up by 2.1%, but down by 0.2% from last year. Not much of a change in price over the year for townhomes that did actually sell. The sales were dismal, only 3 sold in May, and that's down by 66.7% month over month, and 1 year down by 78.8%. Now, active listings came up to 56. Yes, that's all, 56 listings. Not a ton of competition, but that is up by 33.3% month over month, and 1 year that is up by 93.1%. And the reason for those high numbers, of course, is because people are not buying that many townhomes in Mission. In slower markets, that seems to be typical. Most people do not come to Mission to live in a townhouse. They are looking for residential detached properties. That is their goal, their dream, and this has something to do with why Mission isn't seeing high sales. Also, our pricing is staying relatively stable, or sellers are keeping their, let's put it this way, sellers have dug their heels in on pricing, and other communities around us have not. So if we compare it to Abbotsford, we're seeing a lot more sales, a lot better deals as far as townhomes go that way. So smarten up, Mission. It's your price. That's all it is. It's just your price. And when we take a look at the sales that did happen here in Mission, we can see that they are in the lower price range, nothing over the $700,000 mark. All 3 of them, not necessarily older. 1 of them was older. 2 of them are newer properties, so it's under 5 years of age. Now, when we take a look at apartments, we saw that the benchmark price in May came in at $453,000, and that's up 1% month to month and up 0.2% over last year. Now, we had 5 sales, and that's according to the MLS, but when I searched a little further, it's actually 7, so that brings it up to about 35% increase, and unfortunately that's still down about 35% year over year. Now, active listings, we had 53 in May, and that is up 8.2% and up 35.9% year over year, with active inventory hitting 10.6 months. Now, Mission is not known for its apartments. We have fewer of them, and that is being corrected with more construction being built in the apartment category. But for now, it's not something that people come to Mission for. Like I said before, it's Mission, people come here because they want a piece of detached land. And it's not like it doesn't happen, but it's where the majority of buyers are going to be. Now, with younger folks starting to move this way because of affordability issues, it will bring parents and other folks along that will need smaller accommodations such as apartments and townhomes. The landscape of Mission is changing, and I think it's going to change very fast in the coming years. You can see here, these are the 7 apartments that sold. Got a few of them that are brand new, still under 455, under 550 here. And a few of them are a little bit older with more modest pricing, just around the 350 plus range. Some great deals, some great neighborhoods. And that's it for the breakdowns. Well, this might sting a bit, but it's true. Some listings in Mission aren't getting a single showing. And it usually comes down to a few possible things. Number one, the price doesn't match the property. The home needs work, the styling is dated. Think carpeting, popcorn ceilings, you know. The location leaves something to be desired. Maybe the listing photos are, well, non-existent. Just the front of the house, nothing more. And yet it's priced like it's fully updated and move-in ready. Who are they trying to catfish here? And sometimes the seller still thinks it's 2022, clinging to that crazy price their neighbor got and refusing to adjust, even though the market has clearly moved on. Meanwhile, sharp, well-presented homes under $1 million, well, they're getting a lot of attention. Not quite bidding wars, not overnight sales, but solid, steady attention when the numbers make sense to buyers. So what does that actually mean? Well, if you're buying, you've got more choice, less competition, and much more time to think. But don't sit on the sidelines forever. If rates drop again, buyer's pressure will come back fast. If you're selling, this isn't a market for guessing. You need a real strategy. Pricing, presentation, they all work together. Because in this market, 2 listings on the same street, one sells and one does not. The difference isn't luck, it's strategy. If you're ready to move with clarity and confidence, let's connect. My details are in the description below. And if this gave you a clearer picture of what's really happening, hit like and subscribe. It'll help more people in Mission get a clearer view of what's really going on. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.